A job interview is a pitch. And Kristen was asking about this a moment ago, okay, with reference to the question, tell me about yourself, okay? Now, what I'm saying is that not only is the question, tell me about yourself, a little bit of a pitch, it's the entire thing. It's the entire interview, okay? Now, let me explain. Some of you guys, you come from maybe sales, maybe customer service background, maybe a background where, you know, you've worked in the capacity of someone who has to interact with a lot of other people as part of your job. You know, maybe you're a coordinator. Maybe you get on the phone and you coordinate events or, you know, figure out, you know, what's going on with some aspect of a company's operations and, you know, involve lots of people and, you know, get problems solved and get bugs worked out and all this kind of stuff. So you understand, you know, interacting with people and all this kind of stuff. That's great. A lot of you guys, you're probably like me. You are, first of all, introverts. Therefore, although you can do social interaction, it's probably not your idea of a good time, right? Talking to new people that you've never met before for work is probably not the super fun thing for you that it might be for more extroverted people, okay? Believe me, I know. In addition, you might be more of a technical type person. Your skills are more in a technical area rather than in the sort of touchy-feely people area, right? Okay? Now, if you check those two boxes, you're an introvert, you're a technical person, okay, my heart goes out to you. I'm that person too, okay? You're probably the type of person that regards going to a job interview as a waste of time. Okay, these are the types of people, they leave comments and on my YouTube channel and other people's YouTube channels and all over the internet saying, you know, why would I waste my time talking to you, right? Well, I can tell from that comment that you've never worked as a salesperson, right? Not that that's a bad thing, I'm just saying, okay? Why am I talking about all this crap right now? I'm talking about this because it's directly relevant to succeeding in a job interview, okay? There's a couple of principles you got to know, okay? You guys heard of something called the spotlight effect? I'm sure a lot of people have heard of this. This is where everybody is under sort of the delusion that it's all about them all the time, right? You're the most important thing in your life, therefore you must be the most important thing in other people's lives, right? You can look it up on Wikipedia. It's called the spotlight effect. This is the thing that leads to most people failing job interviews, okay? They don't understand the perspective of the recruiter or the hiring manager or whoever is on the other side of the table in a job interview. They don't understand their perspective. So you don't have a very objective view of yourself, okay? I started out like this, and I'm not going to lie to you and say that I've completely solved the problem. I don't think anyone has, but I've recognized it. I understand these concepts, okay? Now, if ever you've had a chance in your life to be the person hiring, okay, like the example I always bring up is someone who has to get the help of someone to move their furniture. Maybe you're moving from one apartment to another or one house to another or whatever, and you need to move your stuff, right? And you can't carry it all yourself. Maybe you're the type of person that likes to play on 4 grand pianos that you own, right? That would cost a fortune, I imagine. I don't know if you can you get grand pianos for cheap? Like if they're made out of plastic or something? I don't know. But they're too heavy for you to move. So you need someone else to come and move them. And you can't do it alone. So unfortunately, you have no friends. So you have to hire a stranger. So you post a job and you're interviewing people and you're interviewing these candidates, right? And some of the candidates are highly qualified. They're big and strong and they've moved stuff before. And they might have good communication skills. Like you can talk to them, they understand you, they talk to you, you understand them, right? And in the process, you don't misinterpret what they say. You don't end up getting really pissed off, because they told you something, but they told you in what you perceive to be a very rude way. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they didn't intend it to be rude, but it comes across as rude to you. Those would be bad communication skills, right? So these people are fine, right? But the problem is that they think it's all about them. So they say, I can pick stuff up, I can move stuff. I can communicate with you, and I'm reliable, But why would I want to do this? Like, this isn't a very sophisticated type job. I'm capable of much more. This is almost beneath me to do, Now, already, if someone said that to you, would you be having warm fuzzies about hiring that person? Probably not, right? And this is the problem with a lot of technical introverts when they go to job interviews. They have no conception of how you're coming across. These people are not simply looking for someone who's qualified. That's where it begins. What they're looking for is someone who A, wants to work here, B, will be reasonably fun to deal with, at least enjoyable or at least tolerable. But you're hoping for more than that. You're hoping for someone you get along well with, that's a pleasure to deal with. That would be much more desirable when you're hiring someone to move your stuff. If it's someone that you don't want to talk to because you fear that you might piss them off and they might get upset and be very intimidating, that's not the person you want to hire, right? Right? So there's a lot of psychological things that they're looking for here, right? That you may not be tuned into. Okay? So the job interview is a pitch. It's basically you saying, you're communicating this between the lines. You're saying, look, Mr. or Madam Recruiter or hiring manager, you need to forget all those other candidates, okay? They're no good, right? They're not the best. You want to forget them and you want to hire me. I'm the best. And here's why, right? That's really what you're saying to these people. You're not just answering questions. Yeah, I'm qualified. Yeah, I can communicate. Because they've just talked to 6 people in a row that are qualified and can communicate, right? The job interview is a pitch. It's you basically giving them reasons to hire them. You're saying something like, look, I've helped 5 people move before, and they've all given me rave reviews. Not a single item of theirs was broken or lost or damaged, right? And they never at any point were confused as to where their stuff was at any point in the process. They were never confused at all. No confusion whatsoever about what the plan was, when things are going to arrive, in what order, and then what's going to happen to them when they do arrive. Am I going to unload them? Is somebody else going to unload them? So I always got rave reviews from the 5 people I've helped move previously, and they not only had to move 4 plastic grand pianos, which I know that you're so fond of, they had to move 4 plastic replicas of James Bond vehicles. Have you ever tried to move a plastic Aston Martin? Not easy. So, if you give them reasons like this and they go, okay, now you're looking like the top of the pile. You're looking like my first choice. Because not only are you qualified and, I can communicate with you, but it seems like if I hired you, you'd do a great job. And there wouldn't be any issues, there wouldn't be any hiccups, and it would be smooth sailing, right? So that's really the type of thing you want to communicate in a job interview. That's the whole purpose of it. Okay? So that's the point I wanted to make. So coming all the way back to my good friend Kristen. I don't know if you're still here, Kristen, because it's taken me like half an hour to answer your question. But you were asking about the question, tell me about yourself. Is it really a pitch? Yes. Yes, it is. Now let's pretend during your answer to that question, you like my other angle here? My artsy Dutch angle here. In addition to answering this question, let's say you talked about something mundane, right? Like it wasn't directly related to what you're going to be doing in the job. And, they said like, tell me about your family, or tell me about your, your day this morning, or something like that. It's not directly relevant. But in the process of doing that, you are showing them how personable you are, how easy you are to deal with, how pleasant a conversation can be with you, right? And the implication is that if they hire you, they're going to have to communicate with you and interact with you. And when they interact with you, it's going to be this pleasant. Not only that, you're very professional. You don't say anything inappropriate. It's pleasant, it's professional. And they see that, hey, if a customer saw you working here or interacted with you working here, you would be representing the organization in a very professional way. You look professional, you act professional, you sound professional. You would make us look good, right? So you're basically saying through body language and by implication, this is what I can do for you. This is what I bring to the table. It's a pitch, right? Even if you're talking about something unrelated, you're still signaling stuff like this, not to mention the quality of your communication skills. Or your awareness of like, okay, I've spoken for 1 minute straight. Now I should probably let them have a turn. You get that. You understand that. Okay, great. You're making a good impression. Okay. Now I responded to David earlier, I believe, a neutral answer. I see myself to be in the specified position for more skill. Okay, that was the previous question. M. Poe says, hi, what about tests corporations use on the interview process? Those tests has nothing to do with the job specific, are more of a kind of psychological test or something. For example, for Honeywell, where can you solve these type of tests? Where can I find appropriate? Okay, I'll get into that in a second because you're asking about something different. David Gomez says, your advice is golden, and thanks to you sharing your knowledge, I was hired at a job I love and respect. I got promoted 2 weeks ago and absolutely enjoy my job and the high pay as well. Well, that's great. That's great to hear. I'm glad you're prospering, David, and it's very nice of you to come and give me this kind of feedback. So that's awesome. Okay. So anyway, let's get back to the whole job interview as a pitch thing, because I want to say my piece on this, and then we'll take questions about the various other things people are asking about. Okay, so let me put it to you this way. When you go to buy something, okay, you go to the store and you want to buy something, it's about you. It's not about the thing, okay? You want to buy, a bottle of Coke or something, or you see a commercial for Coca-Cola, right? What do they talk about in the advertisement or the promotional item for Coca-Cola? They talk about the benefits to you of having Coca-Cola, right? Whether you're a Coca-Cola man or a Pepsi-Cola man, and it's pronounced Pepsi-Cola, just for the record. It's about like how good you're going to feel drinking Coke, how refreshed you will feel. It'll give you that little caffeine buzz. It'll make you work a little faster, talk a little faster like me. Right? It's all about the benefits that you're going to get, okay? You don't see in a promotion for Coca-Cola, you don't see them talking about how it benefits Coca-Cola if you were to buy their product, right? They don't say, buy our product. That way we can reach our goal of making $50 billion this quarter instead of the 49 we made last quarter, right? Wouldn't you like to be a part of that? Of course you would. So help us out, right? That's not going to convince anyone. It's all about benefit to them and not to you, right? So that's what a job interview is. The job interview isn't about you. It's about saying, what benefits will you get if you choose me, right? That's why it's a pitch. It's very easy to do this. All you do is you start talking about the things that you can do for them. So if you have skills in a technical area, you talk about how you can use that to benefit them. right? You have certain abilities, you have certain people skills, whatever. You can bring all that to bear to benefit them. What does that mean? That means you're benefiting them by doing your job effectively, efficiently. You're, the frictional stuff that happens in the course of doing your job, like they have to deal with you. They have to explain things to you. They have to get explanations from you, right? All of that will not only be efficient, but it'll be enjoyable. You will enjoy dealing with me. I will bring a smile to your day, and after every interaction with me, you'll go away thinking, feeling just that little much happier, right? You have faith in the future of humankind after having dealt with me, right? Like there's technical, tangible stuff there, and then there's all this touchy-feely, intangible stuff, right? Okay? That's the biggest thing you can do in a job interview, is have them go away at the end of the interaction feeling, that wasn't a chore at all. I enjoyed talking to that person. As opposed to the alternative, which most of us get on a regular basis, where you talk to somebody and you think, if I don't see that person ever again in my life, it'll be too soon, right? Nobody likes feeling like that. Nobody likes conflict. Nobody likes confrontation. Nobody likes, frustration. Nobody likes, any of that stuff, right? So you're basically demonstrating to them, this is what it's going to be like if you hired me, right? You see how this is going? How easy this is and how fun this is? That's what it's going to be like if you pick me, right? So you got a big smile on your face, even though you probably feel like killing yourself. You have a big smile on your face. They say something that they think is funny, and you go, good one, right? Even though you want to just throw up a little in your mouth. Right? Am I allowed to say this kind of thing? I wasn't allowed to say this kind of thing in my capacity as an executive. This is the great thing about YouTube. Okay, so hopefully you're understanding like a bit of what's going on here, right? Okay, and then if you get a little more sophisticated, instead of doing this thing where you just demonstrate your people skills, your professionalism, your communication skills, how you can have a rapport with people, how you can represent your organization professionally. It starts with not showing up in sweatpants, right? Things like that, right? And saying what you know, what you have, what you've done, right? Like, so I know I have this skill. I know how to do this. I have this educational qualification, and I have this experience. I've done this for 5 years, so I know how to do that, right? That's kind of where it starts. Where it goes on to is being able to say, I can do this for you. In my last job, I did this kind of work. And I've observed how in the past, people weren't taking advantage of some of the tools that are freely available to do this kind of work. And unlike my predecessors and my coworkers, I actually availed myself of some of the latest software tools or techniques or organizational methods or whatever. And I brought those to the work that I do. And that enabled me to be much more efficient and to be able to tack on this capability. That's what I can do for you. If you guys are looking to go in that direction, I have the skills to do that, right? And I can bring all that experience and talent that I have for doing that here, right? It's a pitch. You're giving them reasons to pick you instead of somebody else. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense.